Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Carbondale Raceway for the 19th race in the 2021 FBRL Napa Truck Series season. Blake Warren on pole for the third time this season with Joseph Strigley to his outside. Points leader Luke Martin in row 2 with Lane Sanders. Griffin labeled McDermott, Bobo Jones row 3. Brian Butcher has won the last 3 races. He's in row 4 with JD Martin, with Ryan Dagby and Gatlin Downey in row 5. Martin coming into this race with a 109-point lead over Ryan Butcher after Kyle Springer's abysmal race at Homestead was ended by AJ Jones, who turned Larry Hagan on the access road under caution. Springer now 129 points back. That's over 2 races worth of points that you can gain. You can gain at most 59 points in a race. Springer suffering in qualifying. You see him there on the inside line. Larry Hagan, who's gone now 9 races in a row with a top 10 finish. He starts on the outside lane near the back. Tyler Black also struggling in qualifying this weekend at this 0.79 mile 3-turn short track. This is the final short track race on the schedule. We've got Diego Yepes making Burns Motorsports' first race since Phoenix. That's all the way back at the beginning of the year. And making the race on provisionals, Bob Burns, Roberto Crown Jr., Chase Dunbar, and Sean Angel. Zachary Bilson now missing what is his 3rd race in a row. But back to the championship battle. Martin, Butcher, Springer, Blake Warren, and Gatlin Downey also in range. But after today, just 3 races will remain. And if Butcher or Springer want a shot at this championship, they are going to have to gain ground on Martin today. Let's go trackside for the command to fire engines.
Driver, start your engine!
Coming into this race, as mentioned, Luke Martin with a 109-point lead over Butcher. If Luke Martin wins today, he would be able to beat Butcher on a top 5 tiebreaker, if need be. You can gain 59 points a race. So if Luke Martin has a 118-point lead over Butcher with 2 races remaining, and for whatever reason Martin finished last in the last 2 races and Butcher won the last 2 races, and they tied, Martin would get Butcher on the top 5 tiebreaker, even if they both had 7 wins on the season. Green flag is out. Coming into this race, Luke Martin with 6 wins, Butcher with 4. And then, of course, Martin has 13 top 5s to Butcher's 9. So if Luke Martin, for some reason, doesn't get a top 5 for the rest of the season, then that would really make things interesting as far as tiebreakers go, because both him and Butcher come into this race with 13 top 10s. But tiebreakers aren't what Luke Martin needs to worry about at all. He just needs to worry about getting points. If he has a 119-point lead after next week's race at Atlanta, he doesn't have to worry about any of the things I'm talking about right now. Heck, if by some miracle he gains 59 points over Butcher today, 3 races worth of points is 177 advantage. He would be 168 over Butcher after today if he were to win and have Butcher finish last, which would make things very near impossible for Butcher to capitalize. But regardless of all of those hypotheticals, Martin is in a great position with 4 races remaining. We still have a long race here today, 97 laps. We're already on lap 4. Blake Warren currently leading this thing. These laps will tick off like nothing, as there are skid marks and smoke down the front straightaway, but no caution. Bradley Bishop Jr. back in the 22 for Team Velocity. 3 wide here with Kev Shearer and Ricky Freeman Jr. And they're just going to pinch together. And somehow, someway, BBJ saves that truck. You see Brandt jump all the way to the bottom. Patrick Smith there, almost 4 wide. Lots of beating and banging going on, especially with Freeman and Malik Nevins there. But somehow, someway, BBJ kept this truck going straight, and we stay green. Following the race at Homestead, AJ Jones was penalized 50 driver points, probation extended to the end of the season, and suspended for this race here today at Carbondale. Turner Performance Racing driver in the Hardee's National Series, RJ Bishop, driving this number 12 truck for Young Motorsports today, and he is moving forward. Started in 11th, up to 5th place. Like I said, bottom is the way to go. You see Lane Sanders struggling on the outside, but Bishop has got a good piece on him today, it seems, as the other Young Motorsports truck of Christopher Jones is currently all the way down in 29th. But both of the TPR Hardee drivers driving for 4 teams, covering for these 4 teams here this weekend. Brandon Beal, originally scheduled to drive the 66 truck for Burns this weekend, but after he got canned by Young and Hardee's, he picked up some Sony Cup starts. Turner and Bob Burns came to an agreement, allowing Beal to attempt the Martinsville race for Sony Cup this weekend. Diego Yepes was put in this truck, and so far he is not doing too bad, considering this truck has only made 1 race prior this season. He is currently running in 24th place, so big props to Diego Yepes for getting this 66 inside the top 25, as Luke Martin has taken the race lead away from Blake Warren. This happened 2 laps ago. Into turn 1, Luke Martin went after Blake led the first 7 laps of the race. 3-turn short track, 0.79 mile oval triangle, I guess, more like a triangle than it is an oval. And then there, off of turn 3, Luke cleared Blake Warren to complete the move, and Blake did not make a move back into turn 1. Mentioned how the top side was not the way to go here today, and Larry Hagan has continuously fallen down the running order after starting on the outside. He is down to currently what will be 29th place as Ricky Freeman Jr. passes him by here. And not just Larry Hagan is struggling of the veteran drivers, but Tyler Black as well, who started even further back than Hagan. He has made it to the bottom of the racetrack now, however, and he is currently up to 25th place. But Black and Hagan, if they want to get good finishes today, they have their work cut out for them. And they're going to have to find ways to get by the people in front of them on the bottom if they want to move forward and improve their running position. Black coming into this race 6th in the points, 10 points ahead of Larry Hagan. As Hagan, again, 9 top 10s in a row coming into this race. And before those 9 races, he was 14th in the point standings. He came into this race, as mentioned, 7th. And he's got a 46-point advantage over Malik Nevins for that position in the standings. And the goal for that team is to get it up to 5th in the points, but he's got a ways to go to catch Gatlin Downey, who currently runs inside the top 10. Kyle Springer currently racing JD Martin for 9th place. Looking like JD will take the spot. It was announced after the Homestead 150 that Kyle Springer will return to S3 Motorsports in the Napa Truck Series next season, with more Hardee's National Series attempts coming his way. Springer joins fellow Napa Truck Series veterans Blake Warren, Bob Burns, and Zachary Bilson as drivers who have run full-time in this series since its inception in 2019. Springer with the breakout year this year with the move from TJ Smith Incorporated to S3. Bilson has been struggling at Crossroads recently, 3rd missed race in a row here today. Bob Burns has done some good things for Sanders Performance Auto Racing. Bilson heading to Breeding Enterprises next year. Bob Burns heading to OnjAuto. And Blake Warren will head to startup Mercedes team Silver Fox Motorsports. So all 4 of these guys are going to have all the experience they need. But there's a lot of guys from Hardee's. Well, not a lot, but a couple of guys from Hardee's, a couple of guys from Sony Cup making the dip to join these experienced Napa Truck Series drivers. And the rookie field next year not looking as big as it did this year, As you see, Springer has now been passed by Christian Vargas and Lane Sanders and has now fallen outside of the top 10 as Luke Martin continues to extend his lead over teammate Blake Warren. Side by side for second place is RJ Bishop and Blake Warren. Bishop made it by Griffin Label McDermott a few laps ago for third. GLM has since dropped to sixth place behind Joseph Shrigley and Ryan Butcher. And now Bishop will pass Blake Warren for second place and look to track down race leader Luke Martin, who has now got a 1.8 second lead over second place. And it's crazy to look at this dynamic. RJ Bishop is in second place. Christopher Jones is running in 40th. That's last place on the racetrack. And Christopher Jones really just struggling with his truck so far today. Fall off will get up to about a second and a half, if not a little bit more. Right now, those drivers only seeing about 7/10 to 8/10 of fall off. It's that moment early in the first run of the race where we go through the field. Luke Martin leads, fastest lap on the day. Sebastian Kukulana 23.732. The fast time in practice belonged to Luke Martin, who set a 23.658. There was one Ram, one Chevy, 3 Fords, and 5 Toyotas inside the top 10 in practice. Luke Martin continues to lead. Blake led the first 7 laps. Luke has led laps since then. Luke coming in with 411 laps led on the season, looking to get to 500. Heck, he might even get to more. Bishop still running in second place. Blake Warren in third. Joseph Shrigley fourth, as Griffin Label McDermott will pass Ryan Butcher back to move into fifth place. Butcher looking to be the first driver in not just Napa Truck Series history, but FBRL history to win 4 races in a row, something we've never seen done in any of the 3 series. But right now it's looking like Luke Martin's got a hold on him as Blake Warren's making another move for second. Gatlin Downey currently running in 7th. JD Martin running in 8th place. JD looking for what would be his 4th top 10 on the season. He's got 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s so far this year. Cody Goforth currently in 9th, getting challenged by Christian Vargas. Lane Sanders now down to 11th. Bobo Jones 12th. Kev Shearer 13th. Kev not having any good luck go his way last week at Homestead when he was driving for CM Racing's number 0 truck, but he's got it back going here in the 05. This truck blew an engine last week with Scott Roush behind the wheel. As you see, Springer now down to 14th. The aforementioned fastest lap on the race going to Kukulon, who is in 15th place. Malik Nevins, Brad Bishop Jr., Ryan Dagby, James Ellison, and Alexa Lushon in the top 20. Ellison was in his 10 truck last week, in the 0 today as Patrick Smith drives the 10. Nick Breeding just outside the top 20 with Tyler Black now up to 22nd. Going to be looking to the inside of Breeding here for 21st. TJ Smith and Dewey Schramm the 3rd fighting it out for 23rd. Larry Hagan right behind in 25th. There's Patrick in 26th. Watson 27th. Sean Angel struggling again. He's 28th, but he had to start in last due to making the race on a provisional. That was the 23's second to last provisional. 23 now with just, actually I think it was his last provisional. Him and the 67 using their final probo currently on the season to make this race. So they will have 0 heading into Atlanta. Bob Burns just getting back inside the top 30 with a pass. Or actually, no, he has fallen. He is in 29th. Diego Yepes is in 30th. Sorry about that mistake. Burns came into this race 1 point behind the 65 of Schramm for 30th in owner's points. Trying to gain on that, Ricky Freeman Jr., who has fallen down here outside of the top 30, came in 7 points ahead of Bob Burns. So Burns trying to find a way to get that 81 back in top 30. They shot up the standings after the second Puka Kohei race, and they have since fallen back outside. Dunbar, Huck Davis struggling big time here today. Huck was showing some decent speed on one of the intermediate races a few weeks ago, Springfield and Chicagoland. He did very well. Ian Brandt struggling once again. Topped the chart in Go or Go Home, but struggling here outside of the top 30. Brett Houck, Roberto Crown Jr., Kyle Vaughters, Francois Chastain, Zachary DeLello, and Christopher Jones run out the field, as we're seeing a lot of the rookie drivers struggling to figure out this three-turn short track today, as Luke Martin continues to lead over RJ Bishop, but Bishop starting to close in that gap down to 1.65 seconds as he's inched away from Blake Warren. Lane Sanders has a problem. Something is amiss with the 54's motor, and it is going to hold up 18th place on back. That's going to create a huge gap from Dagby forward. You see Tyler Black, Lucian, they're slowing up. Lane trying to find a way to get out of the way. And Lane down to the apron, almost getting run over by TJ Smith as he goes to pit. And Larry Hagan is coming to the pit lane. And we're being told that Hagan ran something over from the 54 and it got him a flat tire. And that is a huge devastation for this 88 team that we're trying to move forward. With no caution coming out for this, it's safe to say that unless a miracle happens, the 88's top 10 streak will end at 9 straight races. Lane Sanders has returned to the racetrack, but he is down a cylinder. Closing in on the pit window, Kev Shearer looking for 10th place on Griffin Lapel McDermott as Bobo Jones looks for 8th on Ryan Butcher. Butcher has faded a bit here at the end of this run. In the past few races, we've really seen him come to life at the end of a tire run. But Butcher just can't seem to figure out this short track. Christian Vargas and JD Martin have gone by. JD up to 6th place. Quite the run for him and Vargas, who we generally see running about 11th to 20th at most racetracks. Downey currently in 5th place. Downey has gone a little bit under the radar lately. He's been getting top 10s, but not really getting them top 5s. 1 win from Richmond earlier in the year, 4 top 5s, 12 top 10s on the season. As he is tied for 4th most top 10s with Springer. Blake Warren, Butcher, and Martin all come into this race with 13 apiece. As Joseph Shrigley closing up on the back bumper of Blake Warren for 3rd. Shrigley had an engine problem under caution last week at Homestead that took him out of the race after having what was considered a race-winning truck. And Shrigley just trying to find a way to close the gap. He's 3 seconds behind Luke Martin and a full second behind RJ Bishop. As we're on lap 50, we've been in the pit window for a few laps now. Still no signs of anyone coming to the pits, and Luke Martin will be the first one to do it. On lap 50 of 97, Martin will dive it down. That'll give over the race lead to RJ Bishop. Several other drivers coming into the pits, including Gatlin Downey, Griffin Lapel McDermott, and Diego Yepes will pit from the mid-pack from 24th place. That is a pretty good strategy call for this team to make the undercut move. This track's so short, we're already seeing the next group come in. RJ Bishop, Shrigley, Blake Warren, JD, and Vargas will stay out. Bobo Jones, Kev Shearer, Butcher, BBJ, Dagby, Tyler Black. This appears to be the big group of drivers coming in. Actually, not really. A lot of the guys at the very rear of the field have elected to stay out. And I think Cody Goforth actually pit a lap before Luke Martin. Him and Nick Breeding pitting a full lap before the leader. Here comes Vargas and JD. Kukulon, Springer, Nevins, Ellison, Lucian, TJ. Patrick Smith will get stuck on the track due to Gatlin Downey on his inside. Same can be said for Bob Burns with Larry Hagan. So the 10 and the 81 getting the treatment the 87 and the 13 got last week. And Hagan hit for a flat tire on lap 40, so he gained a decent amount of time from where he was running. Patrick will dive it down. Bob will be able to do the same, so nobody going to run out of fuel this week either. As Ricky Freeman Jr. got some damage from that incident on the third lap of the race. They have elected to fix that damage. That's going to cost them about 12 or 13 seconds on track. But they were already at the back of the field. But that will complete the pit cycle. And that will see Luke Martin back in the race lead. Currently seeing Larry Hagan battle Gatlin Downey for 4th place despite a 12-lap tire disadvantage. Not a ton of tire fall off at this track as was expected. And Hagan trying to hold on by running the shorter line. We've seen drivers give a ton of space in turn 1 all race long today. And Gatlin's going to get a decent run off the corner because of that. And he's going to hold on to 4th place over Hagan. Luke Martin currently with a 4.3 second lead. Blake Warren losing a couple of spots. He's down to 8th. Cody up to 7th with his undercut move. As Luke Martin has entered lap traffic, and it's a big nest of trucks right here from Francois Chastain down. That's 30th place down the running order, and that has allowed Bishop to close the gap now down under 4 seconds. It's Christopher Jones making a move on Chase Dunbar. Cut the lead down even further, another 2/10, and if this keeps up, Bishop will be there in no time at all. Luke Martin continues to lead. It's time to go through the field again as he laps several drivers. We see Brett Houck a lap down, 35th. DeLello, Dunbar, Bob Burns all struggling. And of course, Ricky Freeman Jr. and Lane Sanders. As RJ Bishop continues to run in 2nd place, Shrigley trying to close the gap. Downey in 4th. Bobo Jones in 5th. Goforth up to 6th. Hagan starting to fall back due to that tire disadvantage. He'll see Warren go under him for 7th and Shearer under for 8th. Griffin Lapel McDermott right behind him in 10th. Vargas just outside of the top 10. Him and JD Martin stayed out those extra few laps. There's Ricky Freeman Jr. Butcher down to 13th place. Struggling here today at Carbondale. Very unlike what we've seen of Butcher the past 3 weeks, but Butcher's element definitely more on the intermediate side than the short track side of things. I want to say he does best at the speedways, and then the road courses and short tracks are about as much hit or miss as he is at the road courses, if not more. Kukulon currently sits 14th. By the way, new fastest lap belongs to Blake Warren with a 23.629. That is a little bit faster than the time Luke Martin set in practice. Dagby 15th, Breeding up to 16th with his undercut move. Springer suffering as well. He is in 17th place. Tyler Black has moved up the field. He is in 18th place now. BBJ 19th. Ellison in 20th. How about Diego Yepes running in 21st place for Burns Motorsports? They really needed this run. Now, they have no chance of making top 30 in owner points here at the end of the year, but this team will be getting a Breeding Enterprises alliance, and this is a good surge of momentum for them while they stay with Ford the rest of the year. As we saw Bob Burns suffering in 38th. Dewey Schramm III is doing pretty good there in 22nd. Teammate Malik Nevins right behind in 23rd. Nevins just not having the day he needs. TJ Smith 24th. Crown Jr. has jumped up the board to 25th. Angel 26th. Huck Davis 27th. Watson 28th. Lushon down from where she was running. She was running in 20th. She's now down to 29th. She was another of those drivers who waited a little bit to pit. Francois Chastain 30th, and Christopher Jones now the last truck on the lead lap in 31st, as Luke Martin lapped Kyle Vaughters and Ian Brandt while we went through the field, as his lead is back down under 3.5 seconds. RJ Bishop and Joseph Shrigley, 7-8 laps later now, they have closed the lead down to under 3 seconds, but they have now caught lap traffic in the form of Bob Burns and Chase Dunbar. Downey and Bobo Jones right behind, third and fourth place, or fourth and fifth place, I should say, sorry. And then a 3-second gap almost to Blake Warren in 6th, JD Martin back up to 7th, Kev Shearer 8th, Goforth 9th, and Griffin Lapel McDermott in 10th. Right now, if you look at the top 5, it's all drivers with different amounts of Hardee's National Series experience. Aside from Luke Martin, Sony Cup Series champion last year, but Bishop in his 2nd year of Hardee's, Shrigley in what I believe is his 3rd. I'm not really sure on that. Someone could fact check me on that one. Downey ran a full-time season of Hardee's 2 seasons ago and struggled to make races last year. And of course, Bobo Jones driving for Rodriguez Racing in Hardee's, driving for his own team down here in trucks, as Shrigley looking to make the move on RJ Bishop for 2nd place, and he will get it done here with 18 laps to go. Laps winding down here at Carbondale, and it has been a pretty uneventful day, to say the least. A little over 15 laps ago, Ryan Butcher was running in 13th place, but he has made his way back up into the top 10. Currently sits in 7th place, trying to minimize the damage to Luke Martin. As they run, Martin would have a 2-race lead, more than a 2-race lead actually, over Butcher in the point standings, which Butcher will have to close back down next week at Atlanta if where they run stays the same. Springer, meanwhile, still struggling in 17th. Tyler Black has made it up to 16th place, looking for 15th on Hagan. Now, Hagan pit at lap 40 due to a flat tire. Almost said a lap tire there. That's a strange thing to say. Pit for the flat tire. So I don't believe this team can make it. The window, of course, 48 to 53 laps. So if they went 53 from lap 40, they'd be 5 laps short. So I expect this 88 to pit here soon. He just fell to 17th. Probably was hoping for a caution, and he's going to come down this time by lap 84 for him, 85 for race leader Luke Martin. And that's just a tough break for Larry Hagan. Bobo Jones making a move on RJ Bishop. He got by Downey a couple of laps ago for 4th. Now he's looking for 3rd on the 12. As they race in the Hornet's Nest, that is lap traffic. Martin still with a 3.5-second lead over Joseph Shrigley. And into turn 1. Jones is slow. He's got a problem. Something is amiss on the 12. Oh, and now he just blew up. Compounded issues here for the 12. And he is slowing down. I don't know if he's going to make it to pit road. And he's going to come to a stop on the racetrack. He's going to turn it right up to the top of turn 2. And he will park it. And that will bring out a caution. With less than 10 laps to go. We're hearing that Bishop's truck, he lost the brakes first. Was going to try and get it back to pit road, but something from those brakes must have shot into the engine somehow because it blew it up. And that is a devastating end to Bishop's day. He was looking good for a top 5 there. We will go back racing here with 4 laps to go. Luke Martin leads at single file restart since we're under 10 to go. Francois Chastain right behind him, first truck a lap down. Now Larry Hagan pit and took 4 tires, so he is going to straight up fly by these guys. If Luke Martin gets held up too long on the top is not the way to go. Joseph Shrigley is 4 trucks behind him in 2nd place, ready to pounce. Bobo Jones has 3 more trucks behind him. I don't think he's going to get there. Now Lane Sanders is out here. He did not pit due to his lack of a cylinder. He has been able to save enough fuel to, I believe, make it to the end. And with his fuel and old tires, this could be disastrous for the field behind them. Green flag is back out. Martin did not get a good jump over Chastain. And there goes Hagan, his teammate, right to the inside of the 18. He'll get to the inside of Martin off of 1. Shrigley, no move on Vaughters. And Hagan is clear of Luke Martin, with Martin having no challenge from Chastain. He's just got to log in these last 3 laps, and he will be looking good to go. as behind Bobo Jones, Sanders is holding up the field on the bottom. Downey is going to move to Blake Warren's outside. Butcher just jumped to the top. And they are trying to gain positions here with Blake being stuck on the inside behind all those other lap trucks. Downey will move up to 4th. Butcher looking to take 5th place. Butcher trying to minimize as much as the damage as he can. If he finishes in 5th, that would make him lose just 15 points to Martin. That would put him 124 back. GLM looking to get another top 10, another strong top 10. He moves up to 6th. Vargas now looking to jump to the top as Lane continues to hold these guys up. Back up to the front, coming to the white flag, Bobo Jones looking to the inside of Shrigley for 2nd place. This truck is not inside the top 30. And a really good run today could propel them up the standings. He's got just 1 race left next week at Atlanta, so it won't really matter. But off of turn 3, Luke Martin will get his 7th win of the season, retying Ryan Butcher for most wins all time in the Napa Truck Series. It's his 14th top 5 and top 10 on the season through 19 races. And he will extend his points lead over Butcher to 124 points. Kyle Springer, suffering, will come home in 18th place. I believe that will be 23 points for Springer's day, as there's a caution out for something. That's 37 points for Luke over Springer. And that's going to put Springer 166 back. That's going to be just within the 3-race range. Blake Warren will lose a little bit of points too. I believe Blake will still be in that range. Downey, I believe, is also still in range, but Springer, Warren, and Downey looking very slim odds to have a shot at this title. I really think it's down to Luke and Butcher, but it will take a bad race at Atlanta for Butcher to get back in striking distance, because he will need to be within 118 points. Heck, he'll need 117 points, because if he ties with Luke, Luke will get him on the tiebreaker for top 5. So the magic number for Butcher after next week's race will be 117. He comes home 5th today. Shrigley 3rd. Bobo Jones 2nd, as mentioned. Downey getting 4th. Griffin Label McDermott 6th. Christian Vargas 7th. Blake Warren 8th. J.D. Martin 9th. And Cody Goforth round out the top 10. That'll do it for us here today at Carbondale. And I'll see you guys next week for Atlanta in what was a crazy race last year, where Ryan Butcher held off Ryan Griffin for the win. We'll see if Butcher can hold off another Sony Cup Series driver for yet another win in 2021. But until then, signing off from here in Carbondale, I'll see you guys for next week's race. Luke Martin, 7th win on the season.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, staying strong, always moving on. Feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really what it seems, try to find out what it means. Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine. Yeah, everything I do, I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh